Hi friends, I hope you enjoyed our cozy little intro. As you may be able to understand right now, this is my new journal. This is the Leuchtturm 1917 dotted grid journal, and I just filled out my name, my address, and my Instagram in case I leave it somewhere in public and someone finds it. I journal a lot. I don't know how much I've told you guys about that, but I use a journal every day, in the morning and in the evening, usually. That goes in waves, but I really love journaling. Here you can see some of the page information on the sizing, etc., in case you're interested. But I really love to write about my days and what I'm feeling, and just process things instead of just keeping it in my head. And so I go through journals pretty quickly, I would say quarterly. So I'm now starting one for October. I don't know how long it will last me, but probably a month or 3, 4. So at the starting page, I like to write down a little calendar so that I can just flip it back and forth to see what day in the week it is and what date it is. And I decided to do October till December because I just don't know when I will fill this out. I used to do a year at a glance here. If you are familiar with the bullet journal method, that's kind of what I use, but I just have this as my journal, like a diary. But I do use a couple of elements from the bullet journal system. I used to bullet journal a lot, but I just am not really good at keeping track of everything. So I've made my peace with the fact that that doesn't work for me. And I am just journaling for funsies. Here I'm picking out the pens that I'm using, and this is my pencil case with my most used pens and markers and pencils. I have a drawer full of colored pencils, markers, all that, fineliners, but I don't really grab them that often, so I put my essentials, if you will, in one pencil case, and it's in my desk drawer. So I am using a couple of fineliners. I'm not too specific about the brands. I'll link some things in the description, or I'll write down the names of items. But here I'm marking out where I want my calendars to go, and because I've done this multiple times, I kind of know what I need to measure out. So I take 7 squares for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I leave about 5 rows empty, because the weeks, there were 5 weeks in the month, so like the first one of the month will be on a Thursday or Friday, and so that will make it longer than 4 weeks, if that makes sense. But December was a 6-week grid, so like a 6-line grid, but I didn't do that. I figured that out later in this process. And then at the bottom, I'm leaving some space for notes if I have any. In my experience, I don't use this page that often. Usually just, like I said, to check the dates. But I do like to leave some space for notes in case any special events or holidays come up, or very important appointments or things that I just want to remember. And sometimes I'll look back at that, but honestly it's just page filler to leave space for notes and stuff on things. But yeah, I really like having this page to look at, and it's a nice, for me, it's a really nice moment to just, I don't know, spend some time in the journal, do a little drawing, writing, I don't know. It's just, I don't really mind if I mess up anything. I just like having something to do with my hands, you know, like this. This was the first time that I actually filmed me doing something in my journal, and I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or not. I love watching these journal with me videos, but it's really hard to do the journaling, so I didn't really journal or write about my day in this video. I'm just setting up the journal with you, because honestly, I don't know if I could do the journaling on camera. I find it very difficult to keep everything in frame and to make sure everything is in focus and then still focus on what I am doing in the meantime. So for me, journaling is usually like a little mindfulness, self-care kind of moment, and I have so much respect for everyone who does these journal with me videos, and they're so good at it. Like, teach me your ways and how to stay yourself relaxed when making them. This wasn't too bad, but I mean, it's not the experience that I normally have when I'm writing in my journal. You know what I'm saying? So here I am just filling out all the dates, making sure I get them right. It very often happens for me that I actually skip a number. I don't know. But it actually went really well this time. No mistakes were made in the dates, I think, so far. And I really enjoy doing this. I think it's because it's very repetitive. But yeah. So those are the 3 months, and then I'm just erasing all the pencil marks that I made. Is that English? I don't know. So yeah. What I love so much about dotted grid journals is that they leave so much room to play around, to draw, to write, to make graphs and whatever shapes, and it looks a little bit more subtle to me than the actual square grid journals, and it leaves a bit more room to play around than a lined journal would do for me. God, my English. Anyway, I just really like the opportunities that gives. Here I'm writing the months. I was kind of nervous for this because I was like, I did all the numbers, so what if I mess this up? But, oh, there you see my face. A little bit. I just did the classic 2014, it's fall calligraphy, you know what I mean? I just use a fineliner to do that, and then I make a couple lines thicker to give it that calligraphy effect. But I don't have the skill to actually do the calligraphy like with the pen in one go. I'm not about that lifestyle. I'm kidding. I wish I could, but I don't. And this feels easier to me. Guys, do you know that it's really hard to still talk for 20 minutes about me drawing lines? I have very little to say about all of this. But I can just ramble and keep you company if that's okay. But just bear with me a little, because I'm not going to be making a lot of sense, I fear. This fine liner is actually really nice. When I got them, it's like, when am I ever going to use them? Because I got a pink one and a purple one and then this red one, but it matches the cover of my journal so well, but it's leaking, and as you can see, the pink mark at the bottom. Yeah, I didn't know that was happening, so I'm grabbing some cotton rounds here, I think, to clean my hands a little and to clean the pen, I was determined to finish the page with this pen, but I'm very sad about it because I thought that it would be fun to use it throughout the journal, but it leaks so much that my hands were just so stained. The nice thing is, I think that this is water-based, which the other fine liners aren't, but I was able to erase that little stain at the bottom with my eraser, which was very nice, and it washed off my hands pretty quickly, so I'm assuming that it's water-based, but I'm not sure. I am also writing everything down in Dutch because, in case you didn't know, I'm Dutch, and I used to try to be really cool about it and write in English in my journals, but at this moment it doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I write in Dutch in my journal. So as you can see, November and December have the same spelling, but October has a K instead of a C. And then what I'm writing up there is maandoverzicht, which is monthly overview. Maand is month, overzicht is overview. So month overview, monthly overview, however you want to say it. And here you can see how I'm making a couple of the lines a bit thicker to give it that calligraphy effect. And then the base of the page is done, and I'm just going to be adding some details. So the notes part of the page, and then I'm adding some lines on the right side at every month so that I can put important dates and stuff there. Here I am trying to make the lines straight and matching, and this is where my perfectionism really came in, and I didn't enjoy it, so I actually mess up this next line because I pulled my pen too far, and that kind of pissed me off, but I tried to erase that like I could with the other one, but this didn't work, so dang it. I'm fixing that later, but it's just a small little thing, so it doesn't really matter. But I've had this little ruler. I don't know what you guys call it in English, but we call it a geodriehoek, so a geo triangle. Anyway, they're very convenient, and I've had it since high school, and that's why you should not throw those things out, because you never know when you need it. Because now I'm 24 and using it for my little journal on my little YouTube channel. How crazy is that? Anyway, I did 5 or 6 lines. I could have started one line lower because this doesn't make the most sense to me, but I did it, so we're dealing with it. And I think that it looks really nice to have the lines on the side and to have the space on the side. Because I am used to doing a yearly overview on this page, I lose the page entirely to all the months, and I have no space for anything else, so it was fun to figure out what to do over here. Normally when I journal, as you could see in the intro, which is why I did the intro, I really like setting a vibe, because it is a moment to spend time with myself and to maybe reflect on things or process things, so I want to feel comfortable and at home and cozy. And normally I would listen to instrumental music while I do this. Now it was just silent because I wanted to be able to have some of the background sounds available for you as well. However, my camera makes a lot of noise when it's focusing, or just, it just makes a lot of noise on its own. So I wasn't really able to do that in the way that I wanted to, unfortunately, because I would have had to set up an extra microphone, and I could not be bothered in that moment to get everything set up in that way. But let me know if you guys enjoy these journal with me videos, and I will try to do a next one. I want to challenge myself. I want to show you guys what I do, because I do think it's a big part of how I stay sane. And I would love to share journaling prompts or things that help me, or the way that I use my journal in a helpful way. As someone who falls in and out of habits pretty regularly, this is something that I've been pretty solid with. And then this is the result of the page. I really like the color of that pen. I'll probably repurchase it at some point, but I added a couple gold heart stickers just to hide that little error, and I think that the gold adds a cute little touch without it being too distracting. Here I was marking some important dates, like on vacation, going on vacation, or holidays, and then I can use that same marker throughout the next couple months if anything else pops up, which it will, because it always does. But then I have everything in the same kind of color scheme, and I really like the combination of colors. So yeah, this is the end result. And then this is me it's a very chunky zoom out moment, but it's time to move on to the next page. I actually skip a couple pages after this because I want to leave them available for little intention lists or bucket lists, kind of things like that. What did I want to say? Important information I sometimes write down there so I can just flip back and forth. And I also skipped the title page for October. I don't often do a title page for next month. I've started to do that again recently, but I wanted to add a little artwork. But I'm gonna do that later. With every month, the most important things for me are that at the start I write down a gratitude list, and then throughout the month I can fill out this page every day, write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. Now, I don't feel like I have a lot of space in one line to write it down, but I can write it down on the day itself in the journal, and then I kind of summarize it here on the gratitude page. So at the end of the month, it's amazing to see I have this whole list of things that I've been grateful for throughout the month, and that really varies. So it can be my friend, a conversation that I've had with a friend, seeing the birds outside. I think I've mentioned this stuff before, but it can be as simple as, I don't know, a coaster that my mom macrameed for me, or just warm tea or a candle. It really varies. The fact that I'm alive, sometimes I'll be overcome with that feeling. I don't know. But it's really cool to write it down and see the variety of things on the list that bring me gratitude. And it has been such a huge game changer for me in my mental health, that even when I don't write, I go to bed and I think of 3 things actively that I'm grateful for that day. And I really love this list. I think that's my favorite part of the journal. And then on the other page, I have my habit tracker. And a habit tracker is something that you probably recognize if you've ever watched any bullet journaling content, or you also fell down the bullet journaling rabbit hole. That was 2014 maybe, I think. I loved that era of YouTube, by the way. I loved watching everyone's journal flip throughs and stuff, which is why I did this journal one, which I actually finished and I will do a video of very soon. But habit trackers never really worked for me because I just truly did not give a single fuck about them and tracking things and being mindful of things. But I was 14 at the time, so that kind of makes sense. Now, I really enjoy making it visual, how I am behaving and what my habits are, and depending on the day, like what factors make that I do or don't do a certain activity. It really depends on the month what I decide to track, but I started doing this again in June when I felt incredibly down, and I felt like I really needed to grab myself by the shoulders and give myself a good shake, you know what I mean? And I needed to go back to basics, and that's when I started the gratitude and habits pages. I also do an affirmations page, but I did not show that because I want to keep that for myself. I have a lot of affirmations, like videos and stuff that you can watch, so they're similar to that, but they change throughout the month as well. But with the habits, I have things that I do every day or want to do every day, and there are things that I don't necessarily want to do every day, but that I want to see when I do them. So I try to be non-judgmental with my habit tracking and just use it as information. I'm just gathering information, and taking that pressure off of myself has made this so much more enjoyable. So I'm writing down the dates of the month again, and as you can see in my gratitude list, at this time I made little lines to start and end a week, which I've never done before, but I think that that'll be nice to see as well. And then at the top I will draw little symbols that represent certain habits for me, and then I will fill in the square when I do that habit. And then on the side I'm making a notes section so I can write down little things that I want to say about the habits. So for example, I want to meditate every day, or I want to keep track of when I meditate, and I will write down what meditation I did, or if I am tracking my movement or exercise, I will write down what type of exercise I did. Like, did I go to the gym? Which I have not restarted my membership, so that's a lie. I don't do that right now. But I want to. It's one of my intentions for this month. But if I go on a run, for example, or I do yoga, I will write that down. I'll write down my running time, stuff like that, just to see what I'm doing, instead of it all living in my head or living on random pages that I don't really flip back to again. What I also do in the empty pages before this is sometimes write down a list of books that I want to read, movie ratings and reviews, video ideas usually is somewhere around there. And it's really nice to have all those things at the beginning of the journal. This gratitude, habits, and affirmation section I do every month, so they are spread throughout the journal. And here I actually show you my current journal that and I think I will finish that at the end of September. If not, I will just move to the next one in October. I don't mind leaving pages empty. But in this journal, I started the habit tracking things, and here I can show you. This masking of the blurred lines took me many hours to do. I just want you to know that. Anyway, there are the symbols that I use. Very random, but just depends on the month. So I had taking my vitamins, drinking water, doing my affirmations, meditating, movement, spending time outside, reading, and then in this month I know that I have socializing in it. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but I moved back with my parents this summer, and none of my friends live here, and so socializing with my friends is something that I'm actively making an effort to do. I love my parents and I love spending time with them, but I need to be around my peers to stay sane, And so I put that in my habit tracker just to see, did I reach out to my friends today? Am I isolating or not? Which I do have those tendencies. But so yeah, that just varies. And I can fill these out later because I'll have to see at the end of the month what I want to track. And then I made my affirmations page, but I didn't show you that. So yeah, that was the setup for my journal. I can't wait to move into this one in October. If I add any other pages, I will try to capture it for you. But thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you lots of love. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.